Hi students, today we have to discuss more about earthquake. In the previous class, we discussed the basic concepts of earthquakes. But here, what are the after effects of earthquake? What are the after effects of earthquake? It can produce a lot of damages in buildings, people, dams, houses, etc. Okay, you can cause to the immense damage of buildings, dams, bridges, people, etc. Also, it may also capable to make flood, landslides, and tsunamis. It also can cause to flood or landslides or also tsunamis. Tsunamis produced due to the earthquakes in sea. That earthquake produces large waves in the water in the sea. Then landslides is due to earthquake and it causes to the sliding of a portion of land, that is landslide. And flood can produce due to heavy rains, or earthquake can also produce uh, the source of water. Okay, then another question, how we can measure this, how we can measure the effect of earthquake. We already discussed that earthquake cannot predict previously, but we can conclude, we can measure the effect of earthquake, we can measure the hardness of earthquake. That measurement is called Richter scale. What is Richter scale? What is Richter scale? It is a measure of strength of earthquake. Richter scale is a measure of strength of earthquake. Higher than 7 on the Richter scale is really destructive. We measure the earthquake by the reading in Richter scale. There are a lot of values. Higher than 7 on the Richter scale indicates that earthquake is really destructive. Okay. Then, what are the seismic wave or seismograph? What are seismic wave and seismograph? The tremors produce waves on the surface of the earth. We discussed that the landslides vibrating continuously, that vibrations, tremors, it produces waves on the surface. We can calculate, we can measure the hardness, the amplitude of that waves by constructing seismograph. So they are seismic waves. The tremors produce waves. That waves are called seismic waves. And the waves are recorded by an instrument is called seismograph. So that instrument to record the waves are called a seismograph, and the waves produced by the tremors are seismic waves. That are the two concepts. You can see the picture of seismograph here in the textbook. You can see the figure of seismograph here. Okay, so earthquake can measure, but it cannot be predicted. Okay, our next question is, what are the protection against earthquakes? What are the protections that we can make before earthquakes? Okay, the buildings in the seismic zones should be so designed that they can withstand major tremors. That means if the portion is seismic zone, then the buildings should be constructed in such a way that that building withstand that tremors. That means make the buildings properly. There are several portions in the world. There are seismic zones. That portions produces earthquakes continuously every year. So we should construct buildings on such places as the buildings withstand such tremors. Then use mud or timber to constructions. It helps with the flexibility. Keep roofs as light as possible. So use mud or timber for constructions. It helps to remain that building after the earthquake. Keep roofs light as possible. The roofs make as light as possible. Reduce the weight of the roofs. It helps to remain that roofs without much destructions. Then it is better if the cupboards and shelves are fixed to the walls so that they do not fall easily. It is an important one. If there is an earthquake, the shelves and cupboards are fall down very easily. So fix that cupboards and shelves on the walls as far as possible. Fix fire extinguishers properly. Use fire extinguishers and keep fire extinguishers in all houses. It helps to remove fire if it produced. Okay, then what we have to do to protect ourselves from earthquake. If you are in home, then what you can do? Take shelter under a table and stay there till the shaking stops. If you are in your home, then suddenly the shaking started. Then you can protect yourselves by just escape to the table and stay there till the shaking stops. Okay. Then stay away from tall and heavy objects. Stay away from tall and heavy objects. It may fall down to your head. So stay away from that heavy and tall objects. Then if you are in bed, do not get up. Protect your head with a pillow. If you are in bed, then protect your head with a pillow. It may help you. Then if you have any time to work outside, then you have to do it. Okay. Then if you are in outdoors, then what you can do? Find a clear spot away from buildings, trees and overhead power supplies. You can stay away from tall and heavy objects, that means building, trees, then power supplies, electric lines. Okay. Then if you are in a car, or a bus, then what you have to do? You do not came out and stop that car in a clear spot away from buildings and heavy objects. Okay. So these are the methods, precautions you can take when there is an earthquake. Okay, we cannot predict earthquake before the time, but we can measure this effect of earthquake by using a Richter scale and also a seismograph.